Your pops knew the Breeze would be here at 7 o'clock, West Jeopardy. Nigga loved Alex Trebek. So Goose came up after school, we broke in. He waited for him to come home to watch TV. Breeze didn't have time to get scared.
I didn't want to kill Breeze. I love Breeze. I was your age when I killed him. I killed Breeze.
Since it's going to be a while for us to get like Raising Kanan season 3, and we don't know when exactly are we going to get like Raising Kanan season 3, I'm kind of like leaning towards like maybe, I don't know, December. If not like December, then maybe early January we might actually get to see like Raising Kanan season 3. But I know because of the whole writer's strike thing that writers, actresses, and actors, they're not getting paid the money that they deserve when they should be getting paid the money that they deserve. But it's going to be a hot minute for us to actually for the strike to go away, I should say. But until then, for today's video, I'm going to be talking about like Kanan, Breeze, and Ghost, and the ones who potentially have killed Ghost's father, right? Because I know there's like some videos out there, speculating and throwing out some possibilities that Ghost's father was potentially killed by, Kanan and Breeze, which it seems very likely. It's very likely that those two actually probably done it, and the easy manipulation on their part would have been like, well, it was actually someone else that did it, and it wasn't really them to have done it. So to make it the bond or the control even tighter with like Ghost, it was more like, well, teach Ghost how to use a gun, and then actually exact his revenge on the people that actually didn't do it. So that's why I was kind of like leaning on towards that. But what if that wasn't really the case, and in order for them to have like a tighter bond would have been for, I don't know, like Kanan and Breeze to have actually found out who was the ones that actually killed Ghost's father, and then basically taught Ghost how to use a gun, and then that's when Ghost actually was the ones who killed the people that was responsible for his father's death. So this is why I was kind of like leaning towards that as well. Like that might actually be the outcome of that relationship, because remember, like in the original Power, like Kanan's relationship with like Ghost and Tommy, it was I would say it was like a little bit rocky, but it was only because of Ghost. It wasn't really because of Tommy, because Tommy didn't know what Ghost and Tasha actually did. So it was like their relationship was like kind of rocky, but at the end of it all, it was just like Ghost he tried to kill Kanan, but it failed, and then Kanan tried to get his revenge. It was just like it didn't really work out, because at the end of the day, like their bond kind of like grew. Now you can argue, you could have said like, well, no, because that only bondage ever happened was because of the whole Dre and with him with the Jimenez and this and that. I mean, yeah, you could say like that whole bond came into fruition because of that, but it goes back deeper. It goes back even deeper. So that's why I was saying, I was just like, well, I don't know if they actually was the ones who have killed Ghost's father. I felt like maybe they could have helped him get revenge, and then been like, okay, now that he gotten his revenge, then this actually can make the bond between them even stronger, because we don't know exactly when Breeze is going to be coming to Raising Kanan. We don't know. It could be even season 3, season 4. We don't exactly know when Breeze is actually going to be coming, so that's going to be, a while from then until we actually see that. And eventually, when we do get to see that, when will we see like James St. Patrick, and then the young Tommy Egan, and then eventually I guess Curtis St. Patrick, like all of these characters as well. Because when you look at like Uncle Gabe, right? Uncle Gabe only showed up for like 2 scenes. He only showed up in the original Power, and then he only showed up at the funeral for James St. Patrick, and then that's when he looked at Tariq and was just like, well, it was only like 2 ways that you can actually escape this life, either jail or death, but James St. Patrick was able to like turn it around. So, you still have like characters like that that's like still around from that time. But I also wanted to talk about as well, like who in Raising Kanan do you think actually would have been around? Because if you did the math, I wouldn't consider like most of like Ghost's guys that was like working under him to have been in Raising Kanan. I don't think so, because like I said, if you've done the math, most of those guys was either in the early 20s or whatever. I would say like either Julio, depending on how old he was, and Ruiz. Like I was thinking like maybe those two could have potentially been, I don't know, maybe around in like Kanan's days as well. Now I wouldn't say like they would have not known each other or anything. Because I mean, frankly, when you think about it, it could have actually made sense for like Kanan to like send out the hit on Ruiz because of the whole pink sneakers thing. Now, obviously, yeah, it was a whole different scenario, but I was just thinking like, hey, what if there was actually some sort of past connection that actually gets brought out in like Raising Kanan? Because Raising Kanan is like literally the blueprint of majority of these future stories to come, and eventually that actually happens. So that's what I'm just saying. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of these things that needs to be eventually like cleared up. But I'm just thinking that if this was the case for Ghost, for his exact revenge, then it would have only made sense for, you know, like Breeze and Kanan to actually help Ghost. Because why would you actually have like some sort of control over like Ghost? Then it would have not made too much sense. Because here's my two scenarios. The first scenario, I was thinking that if they actually did help Ghost like get his revenge, then okay, sure, it was a way for them to like strengthen up their bond. And okay, yeah, you gonna sell drugs for us, but everything's gonna be cordial. That's how I saw it as, right? And then my second opinion on it would have been, maybe if there was some sort of like control, or let's just say like Ghost figured it out that it was actually Kanan and Breeze to have done it. But I guess despite, maybe because of the love that they had for each other, then maybe it was just like, well, he had to kill Breeze because he saw a future and opportunity, but he couldn't kill Kanan, so the best way for him to do it was to like to send him to jail. But again, we don't know, because remember how, you know, Tariq and had this relationship with Kanan, despite Kanan was only using Tariq just to get back at Ghost. But then at the end of it all, it was just like Tariq still loved Kanan despite everything. So that's what I'm kind of like leaning towards, like maybe the second option as well, that maybe because of the love that they had, you know, it kind of like maybe super exceeded, you know, some previous thoughts or whatever. But again, this is all speculation. But like I said before, we don't even know if that was actually the case, if it was actually like Kanan and Breeze to be the ones that actually killed like Ghost's father and all. Like it could have been like somebody completely different that actually done it. But that's why I'm kind of leaning on to they actually helped him get his revenge rather than them doing it themselves and then just lying to Ghost and say, oh no, someone else did it, and then giving him the gun to like falsely kill some other people that actually didn't do it at all. So actually, wait a minute, that actually could actually make sense when you think, well, you know what? I think, it just hit me. It really, really just hit me, because think about it. Let's like remember when Rock lied to Kanan. It was just like, oh, this cop, and you know he's just this weird guy or whatever. But then at the time when Malcolm was trying to tell Kanan like, I'm your dad, and you know this and that or whatever, but it was just like, nah, son, I gotta take you out. So I mean, hey, it could have been like that. Like Kanan could have actually used a move that Rock did onto him all those years ago when he was a kid, and he did that same move to Ghost to make it seem like these guys that actually, you know, they didn't have nothing to do with his father's death. But damn, oh shit, yo, I just thought of it because oh my god, technically it would be like a cycle, because look, Rock did it to Kanan, right? Lorenzo did it to Monet, right? So, hey, what if that's actually the case? Like, it was actually like a spiral, like a trickling spiral, because everybody in power they actually did that same exact thing. They just lied and said, oh, no, somebody else did it. And then to trick the person, to make it seem like it was that person, but it really wasn't. So, yo, that's a possibility. That's a dead possibility that Kanan might actually have done that same trick to Ghost to like keep him in control or whatever. But it's possible. It's very, very possible that they actually have done it and stuff. So, like I said, let me know in the comment section down below on what do you guys think. Like, do you believe that it was actually Ghosting Breeze that actually been the one to have killed Ghost's father, or do you believe that it was somebody else that did it, right? And then they actually helped him get the revenge, or it was just like a whole manipulation thing to like keep Ghost in line and keep him under control? Because like I said before, if we get a Ghost prequel, fine. But if we get everything in Raising Kanan that it explains about, like, you know, Ghost's backstory, then sure. Because I felt like when we seen like Uncle Gabe for like only like 2 seasons, I feel like it was kind of like disrespectful, because we haven't like fully seen him around despite everything that happened with Ghost. You would think that his name would have got targeted or pulled into the mix. Even when Noma was going, when Obi threatened, when Obi threatened like Tariq, and he was just like, well, we can still go after your grandma. We can still go after her and this and that. But you would think that it could have been like, well, not only we can go after her, but we can have to go after, Uncle Gabe and this and that. But this is exactly why I said that we need like some sort of like confirmation into like Ghost's backstory, because after when everything that kind of like went down, you can make the argument, which would make sense, that he didn't want to see anything happen to Uncle Gabe. So him leaving was like the best option, and him distancing himself from Uncle Gabe made more sense, because any of the crazy shit that he was going to get into in the future, he didn't want his name, he didn't want him to be involved, because if he was involved, then he could have died or got threatened or got held up for something. So I think Ghost making the perfect move to like not be near him was the best, because just in case anything could have happened to him, because as we've seen, he hasn't been shown as much, and threats haven't been thrown out his way because he's been in the background. He's just been, keeping his distance from everything. So that's what I said before. There's a lot of things that we have to get and see, and hopefully we get those in future Raising Kanan seasons, and maybe a Ghost prequel. But again, who knows? But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you all in the next one.